Hello and welcome everyone to Pitch Me Live. We're your host, Meg and Ted. We certainly appreciate you guys being here today. We know you have a surfeit of options on where to spend your time, and we do appreciate you chiming in and listening to us and hearing what we have to say. So today's guest keeps me laughing all week long, even through the weekends, with her videos of her quadruped, Trigger the Palomino talking horse. Her passion for and love for this horse that she's rescued has inspired her to write two children's books called She Has. If I can get through this, I just think of the videos that Angela sends me. This is fantastic. She's written two children's books called A Charmed Journey, Trigger the Wonder Horse. Now, she has had a hard journey herself, but she's a class act in all regards. Please welcome to the show, Angela Lenhardt. Angela, thank you for being here today.
Hi, Ted. Thank you. And thanks, Megan.
I hearing Trigger's voice in my head, the videos that you've sent me, and it keeps me smiling all the time. It really, truly does. So thank you for that, Angela.
Oh, you're welcome. I enjoy doing it. I love making him, the talking horse and adding a little bit of joy to people's day. I mean, why not? Trigger is Trigger and I'm me. So why not put the two together?
I wake up and sometimes when I first turn on my phone, there it is, a video of Trigger, and he's giving me just these hysterical messages. So if we can, I don't know if we can post any of these or not. Megan, you're the tech guru here. So if we can, we might have to put a few up because it's hysterical.
I love them. So I'm all over it.
Well, awesome. Angela, let's just, we've got a little bit to unpack with you. So we're just going to get to it if that's okay with you. What was your impetus for writing these two children's books?
Well, first of all, I just want to correct you. They're not children's books. The first book is my memoir. So it's about my life.
That? Which one? I'm sorry. Which one is your memoir?
So A Charmed Journey is my memoir. And it's my life story about how I've been guided in life and just my journey into becoming who I am today. So that is, those are the fundamentals that I had to learn as far as life lessons goes to be able to master aspects of myself. Sure. And then the second book, Trigger the Wonder Horse, is Trigger's memoir. It's really our journey together and how we have overcome obstacles and how we got to this place today as well. So it's really about our journey. So my next mission is to write a series of children's books to help the youth and to help guide them in life. So that's the progression of it all.
Now, you had an easy upbringing. Is that correct? Or do I have that wrong too?
I wouldn't say that it's been easy, but I don't think that, generally people's life is easy and or maybe it is, I don't know, but I just know from my experience I've had my set of challenges, but I just know that we encounter certain challenges in life and we can turn that into an opportunity depending on our attitude and how we're going to move through it. And sometimes you got to move through it like a bull in a china closet, and sometimes you got to move through it with grace. So it just depends on the situation and how we're going to tackle it.
Well, when you were 14 years old, was it more like the bull in the china shop?
Pretty much, yes. Pretty much. And then there was a lot of grace mixed in without me realizing it. So yeah, at 14, I packed up my brother and my mom wasn't healthy at that time. And it was kind of a survival mode. So I just said, well, we're going to do whatever we need to do. And I packed up my brother, took the car and started driving down the road. And my brother looks at me and he goes, where are you going? Where are we going? And I said, well, I don't know, but we're not staying here, not until mom gets better. And I just drove to a house. And I knew that the town nurse lived there. So I thought, well, who better to take care of us than the town nurse? And I walked up to her front door and just said, my mom's really sick. Can you take care of us? And she opened her home to us. And that's where him and I lived for a couple of years. I can't really remember. I kind of blank out a little bit on those years, but I do remember that part of it. And I was in high school. So And my brother was three, or he still is 3.5 years younger than me. And that's where we lived until my mom got better. And then I actually graduated and went to college. So that was just how my life rolled.
So you were essentially raising your 14-year-old, or you were 14 raising your younger brother, essentially, right?
Yeah, I don't know if I was raising him, but I was definitely, pulling him
Involved.
around by his ears, and we just had to do, you have to do what you have to do in order to survive. And through the grace of God, and we were able to make it through that challenging time. And I had great people and mentors and coaches around me that really got me to where got me through high school, got me through track and cross country. That's how I made it through college, was my running scholarships, and I was an All-American. So if I didn't have mentors and coaches in my life, I wouldn't have been able to achieve certain goals. And that's why I'm super passionate about doing what I do and helping the younger generation, because unless they have mentors or teachers that teach them the fundamentals, then sometimes you just don't have a great foundation to stand on, and don't know how to pursue your path with a lot of grace and integrity and honesty and all that good stuff.
Absolutely. It's crazy. Tell us more. What are some of the fundamentals? Because I don't think other people, Ted knows you well, but I don't think everybody else here kind of knows what it is what are some of the fundamentals that you focus on when teaching the younger people, how to follow their dreams? Because it's hard. It is so hard. I have teenage girls, first of all, who are 15 that I don't think could do what you did at 14. So it's pretty incredible. Like, I'm picturing them in my mind, and I'm like, I don't know about all that. But, so you had to learn for yourself at a young age. So what are some of the lessons that you teach other young folks?
Well, when I give motivational talks to certain, to kids, and I have my office, and a lot of parents bring their kids into me, that like, with Trigger, horses, animals teach us life lessons if we have the eyes to see and the ears to hear. And if you understand how animals are here to love us unconditionally, guide us, and teach us how to be better human beings, then those are part of the fundamentals, such as discipline and respect and loyalty and bravery and unconditional love and kindness. Those are the elements that animals bring to our lives and help us to not only heal ourselves, but, like I said, to help become better human beings in this world, and then be able to share that energy with others.
Love it.
Angela, just your passion and your love, because I know we talk a lot more than what you and Meg have got to, but it just comes through. And we've pitched, or we're working on pitching another lady who's a horse, a cowgirl, as she calls herself. It's very obvious that the women with horses are very, very passionate. What do you attribute that to? Why is it? It's just it bounces off the page.
Horses are majestic animals, and I feel that they are truly, amazing healers. And because they're so, they're big, and they are intelligent, and they can read you better than you can read yourself most of the time. I mean, horses will reflect back to you your own energy. And if you don't, if they don't trust you, then maybe there's something within yourself that you don't trust. So, it's always about, seeing other reflections and mirrors in this world, and then bringing it back to you and going, what is this about me that I need to work on? And I think horses are really great at representing that, because they do, they're very sensitive to energy, and they sense your energy, your internal energy and your external energy, without you even realizing it. And that's what I really want to share is, like, how are you being in this world? How are you showing up? And how are you showing up? You got to show up. You got to show up for your kids. You got to show up for your animals. And most importantly, you got to show up in your own life, or you're not going to get very far. So you got to find that strength from within and pull it up and make it work. Otherwise, there's a tide that's going to come along and wipe you out, because that's happened to me a few times. So now I'm like, no, you don't. I see it coming.
Well, how have you benefited personally from your relationship with Trigger? What has he brought to you?
Oh my gosh. I mean, like, I can't even, I would say that he's my soulmate. He's taught me love. He's taught me trust. I mean, you have to learn how to trust in life. And that's about, trusting in your faith and the greater good. So that is what Trigger has taught me first and foremost. And hope, the power of prayer. We are here to be examples, extensions of God. So Trigger is an extension of God, and he's taught me how to be an extension of God. And that's what we're here to do, is to show up for us, for other people, and how can we best serve. And Trigger has served me on so many levels. And so I just do what I do for him because I love him, and he's just an extension of me, which is an extension of the higher good.
I love that. When Ted and I were kind of talking earlier, he used kind of the word saved, and was asking kind of how like you guys might have saved each other a little bit, and how when you say that like you serve each other, I think that kind of fits together too. Talk about like the relationship that you have. Just seems so cool to me. Like, I have a dog, but I don't have a horse, and it just seems like so, like you said, majestic, I feel like was the word that you used. And I feel like it kind of goes both ways with the relationship between all of the horse owners that we have talked to and the animal. And I just think that's so cool.
Yeah.
Well, dogs are, dogs are majestic too. And so are cats. And I haven't had, I've had rabbits, but I haven't had guinea pigs and stuff. So dogs carry their own special energy and their own healing power. And so do cats, because I've been around them both. And I'm a dog lover and a cat lover. And my dogs and cats that I have written about in the term journey have also taught me lessons too. My cat taught me about death. And Essa, she was my blue Persian. And she really decided when she was going to die and how she was going to do it. And she, I was there witnessing it. And I went and, I don't even want to go into the story because it's in my book, but I was sitting next to her and I just said, Essa, if you're ready to go, I said, just tell me what to do. And I literally heard, because I'm pretty intuitive, and the Rainbow Bridge prayer. I don't know if you've heard about that, but it's a very powerful prayer for animals, and that it's about the Rainbow Bridge. And so I ran upstairs because I knew I had a copy of the Rainbow Bridge, and I ran back downstairs and I read it to her, and I'm like, okay, Essa, are you ready to go yet? Because she was really, really sick, and she was ready to go, but when I was going to take her to the vet and have her euthanized, I was walking her out the door. She jumped out of my hands and ran back to the house. So I thought, well, you're going to decide your own destiny now. And then after I read the Rainbow Prayer or the Rainbow Bridge to her, she was still alive. She's looking at me, and I'm like, all right, what else do I need to do? And then I heard, Psalm 23. So I run upstairs and I grabbed the Bible. I hadn't opened it. I've never opened it, or I hadn't opened it at that time. And I thought, well, I'm going to read Psalm 23. And I read it to her, and then I looked at her and I said, then I felt this heavenly presence in the room. I saw it. It was like swirling energy. It's very divine. It's yeah. And I just said, Essa, the angels are here to get you, to come and get you. And I said, it's okay. You can go now. And I leaned down, I gave her a kiss, and she took one last stretch and meow, and she was gone.
Oh, gives me goosebumps.
So those are just certain stories in my life. And that's how my path that is my path. And I just am here to share my path. And I feel like you can take it or not. And I know what I've got to do. I feel it because it's in my blood. it definitely hasn't been something that I thought that I would have chosen, the path that I would have chosen, but it's the path that it was given, and it's been a wild ride, but it's been very, very blessed, and I can see the blessings in it all, but that also comes with hardships and the ups and downs, the ebbs and flows in life, right? So like I said, animals are here to teach us very, very valuable lessons about life and death and how to be in between.
Well, I think that's a good place for us to stop this. We'll have her back on the podcast at a later date. Megan, is there anything that I might have overlooked or forgot to mention?
There is one thing you might have forgotten to mention.
Well, whatever, there's no telling what I forgot. Why don't you go ahead?
I know that Ted was talking about your incredible books to a publishing company, and they had taken a look at what you were all about and whether or not you sort of jived with what their philosophy was as far as, life and learnings and all of that stuff. And they are super interested in your writing and moving forward and learning a little bit more about what you do and seeing if you're a good fit for them. So that was fun.
Yay.
Yeah.
I may have lied about today, Angela. We'll be sending over the email later, okay? And we'll discuss this off once Megan stops recording. We'll inform you of who the company is and how to proceed from there. How does that sound?
That sounds amazing.
Great. This is a really good company. I think this could work out for you. So we're going to find out. Hey, Angela, go ahead and plug yourself. Let everybody know where they can find you and Trigger the Wonder Talking Palomino Horse.
Well, Trigger's got his own website at triggerthewonderhorse.com. And then I have my own website at angelalenhardt.com. And so you can find out like what I do and how I offer my services. And then you can find out about Trigger and his books and what what we're all about through his website. And there's also other podcasts and interviews that I've done that, talk about horses and the elements that they bring to this life and how we can learn from them as our spiritual teachers.
Wind us down, Meg. Bring us home.
I love it. Angela, thank you so much. We are going to pop your website and Trigger's website in the comments and the post that we put on Facebook when this goes up. And if anybody else is listening or watching and thinks that they have a story that everybody else should hear too, like Angela, we are at Pitch Me the Podcast. There's a the in the middle on Facebook and Instagram. And if you're ever interested in reaching out to us to share your story with everybody, it is Pitch Me the Podcast at gmail.com too. Thank you so much, Angela.
Thank you so much for the opportunity.